There's not really much I could say about this, to be honest, but this is something that I've mentioned before, even recently, with a whole situation that went down a few weeks ago, where I was pretty much told that I was being watched because this guy said he watches out for people that move on foot and wear a book bag because that means that they're homeless and they're planning on living in the storage unit. And I can't drive anyway, so shoot, he better hope I don't. I'll drive through for real if that's what he wants, but there's that. And then it's like, I don't know what else to say about that. Then people think like it has something to do with like older people wearing a book bag. Realistically, it's really not. Whenever you're seen moving around a lot with a book bag, even if you are school age, people are going to assume stuff, especially with the racial side, because they're going to feel like, well, you probably don't go to school anyways because, I don't know, you're quote-unquote black, you're Mexican or whatever. So even if you are school age, people are still going to feel some type of way. Also, if you're in a place where, like when I was in Cali, what was it? Oh, yeah, like, they could tell I wasn't from there. Just like I was always being told I stick out like a sore thumb because I'm quote-unquote black, and they know they don't really have, like, any quote-unquote black people in their school district, so, like, even walking around with a book bag on after school hours, not even during school hours, but after school hours, people are still often gonna assume that, like, I'm still homeless anyways because they know that all the quote-unquote black people there were dumped out foster kids. They came there from the South or somewhere else on the East Coast typically. Or sometimes there's a racial thing where they assume that, like, you're from Oakland, but more often than not, they know that you're not from Cali in general. I'm gonna sound really, really sick, but what was the other thing with that? I think that was about it. I don't really know. Oh, yeah, the thing with E. So I used to mention the E dude pretty often, those few months ago, and then eventually the J lady came into the picture. But anywho, that dude, he mentioned, like, how, whenever you have a book bag on, you get treated funny and people automatically assume stuff. Aside from the whole, library chomo situation that went down with, with Shane, oh my gosh, where he got the police to start, helping him sexually harass me and also even harassing, like, the E dude and even sometimes Jay, whenever they were around. There was also another situation where he was charging his phone to call somebody. I think this was at the grocery store. He was about to go to work, and he said that some dude was like, "Dang, so you're doing bad." And then he said that he was like, "What the F do I gotta be doing bad for? I can't charge my phone for a second if it just went dead to call somebody." And he's not wrong, though. People want to assume and get in your business to talk junk about you and to blame you for stuff and to do the little poverty is a mental illness thing, which is really interesting because the dude who had stuff to say is most likely also somebody who's quote-unquote poor and would fall under the same category. That's exactly why I like people like the Chief dude, though, because they admit how they really feel about poor, quote-unquote poor people, the quote-unquote white trash people. Because, like, I've always talked about how the real war is against the white supremacists at the top and the ones at the bottom, or the higher level Caucasians versus the lower level Caucasians. But, of course, most people will never accept that till it's too late. The 1% could care less about really anybody. But people like Chief that use terms like white trash and all that, they show their true colors and how they really feel. And that's the good thing about people like that is the honesty, because a lot of people think that they're better than the next, but they don't know that the people at the top don't see them any different from the person that they think they're better than or above. Even a lot of religious people push the whole, what's it called? What do they call it? What did that lady say? Aside from the poverty is a mental illness thing, which, I mean, that's not a new concept. That's actually one of the main real reasons that people are always saying that homeless people are mentally ill. But a lot of people don't know that philosophy, I guess I could say, pertains to really all people that are considered poor. But it was something else that I can't remember. I don't know. I can't even remember. And then lastly, I forgot to mention the whole homeless energy thing. I'm not going to go back into that though, because I talk about that a lot in my Why People Are After You, Zombies, whatever in the world, the title is playlist. So yeah, in that one, I talk about the whole thing with like homeless energy, which is something that someone else had actually said to me, but I call it orphan energy because really that's what people are picking up on. The same thing they pick up on when you're in your abuse situation with relatives. When people feel like you're in a situation where you need quote-unquote help, it makes them feel guilty for not doing anything. And also for one person to be up, somebody else has to be down. But overall, they really feel guilty, and so it makes them treat you funny. But one of the most annoying things about it is that even though you may not feel, or I may not feel like I'm even in a quote-unquote bad situation or need help, and especially after like escaping my previous situation, I've saved myself, since other people will still feel like I need quote-unquote help. They'll treat me funny due to their own guilt that I don't want them to feel anyways, because I don't want people in my business or thinking I need anything from them. And that's one of the unfortunate things about all of it, but it's orphan energy.